Conversations with Iris. Here's your host, my loving wife, Iris.
Hola, mi gente bonita. Hello, beautiful people. And welcome back to Conversations with Iris, where we sit here and have some great stories that just shape our soul. And I love bringing you guys some of the raw truth and real healing. And that soulful goodness I like to hear is called heart, that corazón. I love raising stories here that just like raises awareness, help each other hear us out, talk about our stories because your story matters, their story matter, your story matters. We all truly matter here. Don't forget to send me some fan mail. Let me know how an episode spoke to you or what would you love to hear next. I'm all for it. I want to know the real scoop and the real nitty gritty. Okay, just tell me. And of course, don't forget to show our brother podcast, the Short Dad Podcast. Of course, they stream every Tuesday on all streaming platforms. They're doing their thing. Don't forget to show them some love as well. Now, let me tell you guys about this wonderful guest I have on the show. Ooh, I'm so excited for it. My guest has been called the Love Doctor. You heard that correctly, the Love Doctor, not just because of what he teaches, but because of what he lives and helps transform people all around the world, which is a beautiful thing. And in 2008, let me tell you guys, standing on the edge of despair, he almost lost his life. But what became of it changed his life completely. From that breaking point, he discovered the happiness formula. A beautiful, beautiful formula, a practical, powerful way to help others rebuild joy, connection, and that purpose. And he is now an international speaker, the author of The Immediate Happiness, and the founder of the Happiness Score. And he's even shared stages with wonderful people. We're talking about Richard Branson, Les Brown, Damon John, and even sat with the own Dalai Lama. Who has done that? That's just incredible. He's also been featured on Harvard stages, TED Talks, Fox News, and has even traveled over 80 countries across the world, just helping so many people just remove that thing we love to call emotional blockage and just helping individuals rebuild relationships and help them live richer, fuller lives filled with that thing we love to call love, LOVE. So today we're diving deep into the healing, happiness, and the courage to love again. We all need that in our life, right? So without further ado, bienvenidos to Conversations with Iris, Dr. Anil Gupta. It is truly a pleasure to have you here, sir. Welcome.
Thank you, Iris, for a wonderful introduction. And, this is my promise to the audience that they are going to get so much beautiful, practical, powerful content that will absolutely change their lives today. So happy to be on your show.
Oh, I am as well, Anil. And the world knows you as the Love Doctor. Ooh, I just love the way that sounds. That just gets like a little spark in my soul. And I have to start right here with my icebreaker because, as the Love Doctor yourself, what has the hardest love lesson you have learned overall?
It's not judging. It's easy to judge people. Uh, in the moment you judge someone, you can't love them. And when you judge, you tend to criticize. And when you criticize, they don't feel loved. They don't feel respected. So and you nailed it at the beginning. It's around awareness. Awareness gives you clarity. Clarity gives you focus. Focus gives you action. Action gives you results. Results gives you momentum, and momentum gives you everything. You cannot be happy. You cannot be joyous. You cannot be successful. You cannot be in love without awareness.
I love that. That spoke deep to my soul. Let me tell you, I got a little bit of goosebumps here. I'm telling you right now. And you know what's beautiful about all this is that I find it beautiful when the teacher is a lifelong student of love, like yourself. It makes the message hit a little bit deeper. It just resonates with a lot of people. Now, for our listeners who might be meeting you for the first time, let's take a moment to get to know you a little bit better because y'all, Dr. Anil Gupta's story is nothing short of incredible. From overcoming one of the life's darkest moments to creating the happiness formula that has helped so many people around the world and just find purpose. We want to know a little bit about you. Can you tell us and unpack those layers for us?
Sure. So I used to live in London. I moved to a town called Celebration, which is built by Disney near Orlando. And, Iris is a very close neighbor, coincidentally.
Yes, yes, I love it. We're like Disney friends, so but that's
Yeah.
another story for another day.
So I had my worst year ever, which became my best year in November 2008. I was on the verge of suicide, and I had to go up and tell my wife that I'd lost everything, the house, the cars, the savings, everything. And when I told her that, she just smiled, and I thought, "What's wrong with you? What's going on?" And she said, "Honey, I knew something was wrong. You've been behaving strangely," which I had been doing, obviously. And she said, "I thought it was something serious." And I said, "Honey, there's nothing more serious than this. What are you talking about?" She said, "No, I thought you were dying. I thought you had cancer. I don't care about the money." And Iris, in that moment, I had such a huge relief from all the pain and suffering, and I beating myself up and not being good enough, not being smart enough, and there was something wrong with me. I'm a failure. And she said, "Honey, you haven't lost everything. You still have me, you still have the kids, and we'll sleep in the streets if we have to." And in that moment, a huge weight lifted off my shoulders and I could just relax. And she said, "Honey, you need to go to sleep. Just rest. Go to sleep." And I could sleep because obviously I hadn't been sleeping. And then she said, "What do you love to do?" I said, "I'd love to help people." "Well, go help people." And that's what I did. When you help someone, when you perform an act of kindness, you receive endorphins, so you feel good. The person receiving the act of kindness receives endorphins, so they feel good. The person observing the act of kindness receives endorphins, so they feel good too. The person sharing the act of kindness feels good. The person receiving the sharing of the act of kindness feels good. So it goes a long way. So, ladies and gentlemen, we never know what other people are going through. By you performing an act of kindness, it could be a smile, a thank you, opening the door for someone, phoning someone and saying, "You're a great friend. I appreciate you being in my life." Calling your parents and saying thank you. You have no idea the impact you can make, and you already have made.
And that's beautiful. And I love that just you mentioned just a little simple act of kindness could just change one person's perspective. I know it does to me. I'm going to be honest with you. It's just it doesn't take much to please a simple little soul like me. My husband says that all the time. But and I love that you mentioned that because you're absolutely right. It could change somebody's day from worse to good. I highly believe that. So, when you experienced and you were going through this dark moment in life and you decided, you know what, this is what I was meant to do. I was meant to help people. In 2008, you almost took your life. And you would say that that was the day that you felt transformed, that you had that aha moment. That was the calling for you, was it?
Yeah, it was uh, a painful moment, but my identity was around money, and I changed my identity to love, making a difference. I stopped using the U.S. currency and started the currency of love, camaraderie, friendship, helping others, gratitude, growth, gentleness, laughter. And that's what I urge all listeners to do. Don't focus on the money, focus on what you have left. So on August the 25th at 8:30 a.m., I was really happy. At 9:15, I was miserable because I slipped and fell, and I broke 9 bones in my left wrist,
Oh my
dislocated
goodness.
it. The
Mm,
ambulance came, the paramedics came. They had a gurney for me, and had EKG. I passed out. So you never know when life is going to turn around. So be the best version of you now. Don't wait. Don't wait to perform an act of kindness. Don't wait to tell someone you love them. Don't wait to tell them they've changed your life. Do it
mm.
today. Don't wait.
Do it right now. Do it today. It's just a simple call, right? At times, a simple text message, right? A simple instant messenger. I mean, it doesn't take that long, right?
It takes 10 seconds. Um, for about 3 weeks, my wife would put toothpaste on my toothbrush for me every morning, every evening. And every time I saw that, I just was filled with love. It's a small thing. I couldn't put the paste on the toothbrush. Every time I tried it, there was a mess.
Oh,
So it's the small things that are the big things, small things,
yeah.
just like I was on the Bright Line train going from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale. I had a packet of chips they gave me, and I couldn't open it. There was a lady sitting across the table from me. I asked her, "Hey, would you mind opening this packet of chips for me?" And that was a small thing to ask, but it's sometimes it's hard to ask for small things. It's hard to ask, but always remember, what's the intent? The intent is I'm hungry.
Mhm.
And I explained to her, look, I've fractured my left hand. I can't do anything. But she felt good because she was performing an act of service.
Mm, and that's beautiful. And it happened on the Bright Line. I have to say, I love the Bright Line train. That has been a blessing for Orlando, Miami, all that stuff. I just had to highlight that because that's awesome.
Yeah, and they should send us some free tickets
I
because we
know,
we
I
we are
know.
we are mentioning it. It was a beautiful service, and again, that's another thing I would ask people to do: experience new things. Go do something you haven't done, and you'll be amazed how you feel, who you meet. Um, because, see, as human beings, we get comfortable and we get comfortable about being comfortable. What we have to do is get uncomfortable about being comfortable and get comfortable about being uncomfortable. Just do things you've been wanting to do, art classes, pottery, scuba diving, whatever it is. Don't wait, schedule it.
And do it. Just do it. Whatever
Just do
makes
it.
you happy. Let me tell you, I have a friend that joined a cornhole team. I mean, it's just the silliest thing, right? When you think about it, the cornhole, like actual
No,
cornhole.
no, 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 no.
Let
This
me
is serious. This is
Yes,
serious. It's
yes, and he was
serious.
like, "It just makes my day better seeing a group of, tournaments or hanging out with crowds." I found that enlightening because 'cause I'm like, "Wow, you actually are doing something to make your life better, to enrich your soul or do something," and you're right. Try something different, break out of that normality, right?
Yeah, and do things that you love. We forget to do them. We focus on the wrong things,
Mm,
and it could be golf. It could be tennis. It could be chess. It could be just doing a jigsaw puzzle. Whatever it is, make a list of the things you love to do, and then just go do them.
mm. I love that, and I definitely wanna shift the conversation and talk about the birth of the happiness formula, Dr. Gupta, because out of the darkness, you created this wonderful formula. I mean, I love it. And you describe it almost like math, right? It has like joy and how you can have the joy to build, not just, happiness, but love. And for those listening right now who feel empty and numb, what is the happiness formula and how can they use it today?
Okay, so we think we're seeking happiness, but what we're actually seeking is a feeling of fulfillment. So happiness is external, fulfillment is internal. So in June 2013, I wrote a book. It's called Immediate Happiness, and it was basically a manual on how to manage human behavior. We were never given a manual when we were born.
Yeah.
Then after I wrote that, and I thought, what did I actually do? I wonder if there's a formula. And then I worked it out. G times G times G. The first G's you have to give: your time, your energy, your love, your commitment, your joy, your gift, your money. Give it away without wanting anything back. And we've talked about the benefits of that. The second G's, you have to be grateful for what you have and don't focus on what you don't have. I was focusing on all the money I'd lost, all the trinkets, all the stuff. But what my real wealth was my family. And the third G is you have to grow emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. Now, this formula is so practical, so powerful. It's a game changer. So on August 25th, 8:30, my happiness score was 729. My gratitude was 9, my give was 9, my grow was 9. So 9 times 9 times 9 is 729. 9:15 p.m. a.m. slipped and fell, and it was obvious I'd broken it. It was obvious it was mashed up. It was obvious that it would need a lot of work. my happiness score was 1 times 1 times 1. So it went from 729 to 1. That's a big jump.
Yeah.
I fainted. I was in shock.
Mm.
I was shaking, you know. And then I asked myself, what could I be grateful for? And within 10 seconds, the answer came. And when you ask yourself that, what can I be grateful for? I was grateful it was my left hand because I'm right handed.
Look at that. What can you be grateful for? Ask
Yeah.
yourself that. And you often say that forgiveness is the getaways for freedom, or to freedom. Can you unpack that a little bit more for us?
Yeah. So forgiveness is the express pathway to freedom. The quality of your life is dependent on the depth and authenticity of the forgiveness you extend to yourself and to others. So when you forgive someone, you're not letting them win. You're giving yourself the freedom to be the best version of you. If someone hurts you and you hold on to it, it's like you taking the poison, hoping something happens to someone else. So, but you can forgive, but you don't have to forget. And in all my 27 plus years of coaching, the biggest or most common forgiveness is around your parents, mostly the father. So if you can forgive your parents, you will suddenly feel a huge weight off your shoulders. I did a forgiveness exercise with a lady the other day. She said, Anil, that was like 50 pounds of weight lifted off my shoulders.
Oh,
And
wow.
then if you look at her, she looked as though she's had plastic surgery. She's got more energy. She's got a beautiful look on her face. She's making a bigger impact. She's being a better mother, a better wife, a better daughter. Forgiveness is everything. Don't hold on.
Mm. Forgiveness is indeed everything. Sometimes I think that I feel like you need to just not forget what the person did, but I mean, it's just like a big weight lifted off your shoulders to be able to move on, to be able to be the better person. I feel like at times, right? Would you say that's like the key to it?
It is, and you have to ask yourself this question: how is this hurting me? What if I
Mm.
continue to hold on to this? Is it affecting my relationship with my partner, with my kids, with my parents, with my colleagues? And what would happen if I let this go? What am I committed to? Who am I? Me, I would say I'm a ninja warrior, freedom fighter, an unstoppable force of greatness that will move, touch, and inspire anyone who comes within 3 feet of me. Then, you know, is that aligned with your identity? But
Yeah,
the big thing is when you forgive, you're not letting the other person win, you win.
that is so true. And you become the better person at the end of the day, I feel like.
Well, it's not a better person. You have the opportunity to become the best version of you.
Oh, look at that. Even better, the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's extremely deep there. And I want to definitely touch base on the relationship aspect of this and improving our relationship because I feel like now that we talked about happiness, we talked about forgiveness, we got to talk about love, because I feel like love is beautiful, but it could also be messy, Dr. Gupta, in many ways. And I wanted to ask you, like, what are most common patterns you see out there in couples that have fallen out of love or that disconnection or a little bit of resentment for something they did? I mean, what are those common patterns? How can you overcome that?
So when people are dating, they always make the other person their main priority. As they get deeper into the relationship, they get married, it becomes less and less their partner being the priority. Then it becomes 80-20, 70-30, 50-50. Then it becomes transactional. They stop doing the things that they used to do for the partner. And sometimes the thing that they loved with that partner becomes something that they dislike about that partner. So you have to continue making your partner your number one priority. Now, the problem arises when you have kids because the mother normally makes the child their number one priority. And the father thinks, what about me? What about me? So he doesn't get any attention. He doesn't get any respect. He doesn't get the the love and joy that he used to get. And the child gets it, which is understandable. But this is what I urge all parents to do. Make your partner your number one priority. When you make your partner your number one priority, the kids see it, they will do the same. And whenever you do that, your partner will never leave you. So your capacity to love and be loved increases. Everybody wins.
And that's very true there too. Making your partner priority, even with kids. And that's very hard too. That's a very hard pill to swallow for a lot of people because that attention does shift for sure. And then I want to go ahead and talk about the relationship score aspect of it and the relationship ratio. Since we're talking about love, how can we measure love in a healthier way? And what does that really mean? Like, what does it mean when you're listening to with love? How does that
Okay.
go into content together?
So I'll do a live uh, uh, um, coaching. Okay.
Okay.
So I, you're married,
Yes.
Iris. So the relationship score ratio is this: out out of 10, 10 being the very best relationship you have, and zero is the very best worst relationship you have. What is your relationship score for your husband and you?
For me, I would have to say a 10. I seriously, I am very proud to sit here and tell you that I'm very happily married.
Okay. Now,
Very happily married.
what score would he give you?
Um, I will say a 10 too, maybe a 9.5. I'm
Okay.
not sure.
Okay. So they're never the same. But
Yeah.
imagine it was an 8 and a 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you have to ask yourself, why would my wife give me a 4? Then you can say, okay, I know why. Because she doesn't feel heard. She doesn't feel seen. She doesn't feel loved. She doesn't feel my presence. She doesn't feel safe. Um, what could I do to fix that? You know
Mhm.
what? I could do this, this, this. Or better still, just ask her, honey, what can I do to make you feel even more loved? And she'll tell you. And then just do those things. It's simple, but it's not always easy. You know, I didn't ask my wife if she wanted money. I assumed that's what she wanted, but it would be a nice thing to do to ask them what they want, because what you think they want is not necessarily what they want.
So just asking a simple question, what would they want? I mean, that could change the perspective in the relationship. And I forget that gets lost in translation at time. You mentioned kids as well. That's another thing too. The priorities are not there. And asking what they would like. What is it that they need? What would you like? I mean, that could definitely change the game for sure.
Yeah. And, if you have kids, ask them this one question: what could I do? What's one thing that you would like me to do that would make me a better father, a better mother?
A very
It's
simple
such a
question.
beautiful question.
Yeah, yeah. A very simple, beautiful question. That's all it takes. That sometimes we don't even bother to think about asking, right?
Yeah, because we're scared of the answer. If they say, Dad, I wish you would stop smoking. I wish you would stop texting and driving. Sometimes we don't want to hear that. But they see things that we don't see. They notice things that we don't notice. One day my son said to me, Dad, you lie to me. And I thought, son, I have a very, very high level of integrity. Why do you say that? He said, well, you said you would play with me in 30 minutes. You took over an hour. And I said, I could have said, well, don't you know who I am? I'm saving the planet. I'm changing people's lives. I'm saving marriages and blah, blah, blah. But I didn't say any of that. I said, you know what? You're right. I did say that, and I'm totally out of integrity. Please forgive me. Now I'm a lot more careful what I say.
Wow,
So
words are
there's so much
powerful.
growth. Yes, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah. I've learned that words are powerful. You have to be very careful what you say too.
Yeah,
Words say a lot.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. So let me ask you something. Like for listeners out there, how can someone start rebuilding a broken relationship? We talk about asking what is the most thing that they would like for you to do? Just ask the hard question. But how can they rebuild that broken relationship? I mean, what would be the starting package for rebuilding that?
Okay. The first thing is languaging. Never ever say a broken relationship, a broken marriage, a broken uh, situation. Just say, it needs some attention. As soon as you say broken, it's a very negative connotation. Then ask yourself, what is it I used to do that pleased my partner? What is it that I could do to please my partner? How can I show up differently? What is it I need to change? See, by you changing, they will change. And the definition of love is acceptance. As soon as you judge someone, criticize them, it's impossible for you to love them.
And no
Ask them.
criticizing,
Just ask them.
asking them.
Yeah.
And
And sorry, men want to be respected, women want to be loved. So ask your man, how can I respect you? Ask a woman, how can I love you even more? What do I need to do? See, women need to feel safe. They want to be understood. They want to be heard. They want you to be present. They don't want to be fixed. Don't criticize them. Don't criticize them. Let them speak. Don't interrupt them. And if
mm,
men knew that, they're really wanting to fix. They're really wanting to perform. But you don't have to do that. And ladies, men are very simple. Just tap them on the shoulder, say thank you, I love you, you're amazing, thank you for keeping me safe, I'm proud of you, and they will do anything for you. Don't criticize them. Don't compare them with other people. Edify them. It's
and
simple stuff. If you just do these little things, everything starts to change.
that's beautiful, Dr. Duba, and very, very, very enlightening for sure to help others out there, rebuild those relationships, just asking those questions, really listening to yourself. Love is acceptable, um it's definitely something that I feel like our listeners could definitely relate to and improve in rebuilding those relationships for sure.
Yeah. The
I
the other thing, sorry, the other
No,
thing
no, it's
is
okay, and I'm sorry,
just
I don't mean to keep intervening there, but
no,
yeah,
no, no,
please
no.
go ahead.
Uh, And the other thing is look at people who've got amazing relationships. I mean, if you know Iris, just look at what she does. Look at what her husband does, and copy what they're doing. I joke around with my wife that people see us holding hands, and that's the other thing. Have laughter in your relationship, and you know, they said, "Oh, how loving is that?" And if only they knew, we only hold hands so that we can stop each other from falling down.
Yeah, that's so true. If they only knew, huh?
Yeah, if they only knew. Having laughter in a relationship makes all the difference. Laugh at silly things. It's such a joyous thing to laugh at yourself and laugh with your partner. They've got these blue zones all over the world where people live to be 100. Laughter is one of those things. No drama, no baggage, no complaining, no gossiping, and keeping busy, keeping active will add more years to your life. Absolutely.
And that's beautiful for you to share too. I mean, I feel like my husband is my best friend, to be honest with you. It's my best friend. It's my partner, my best friend, my go-to. I mean, and you even said it, holding as simple as holding hands, having laughter. I mean, that could be very significant for a relationship for sure.
Yeah, and doing little things to make your partner laugh. Uh, just being playful, being crazy and zany. Jumping some puddles. It's the small things that are the big things.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm. I love all this. This is good stuff for sure. And I definitely want to shift the conversation and talk about all the great things you've done. Like, I have to go there. Yes, I'm going to go there. I mean, from Delilah Ma to Mike Tyson. I mean, you've coached these wonderful celebrities. I mean, You shared stages with Richard Branson and you met some wonderful world leaders as well. That's an incredible journey. Like, that's awesome. But I have to ask, these people are big time celebrities. What have you learned just by coaching them? What were the takeaways from them? I mean, they're just like people like us. They also have issues. I mean, everyone is a little bit different, but what did you learn from those experiences? I bet they were beautiful and unique in their own way.
Yeah. So it's really very simple. They're just human beings. Uh, every human being has a feeling I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't belong. There's something wrong with me. I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. Every human being has those, no matter how rich you are, how popular you are. And the secret is it's okay to have those feelings, but don't live in that fear. And when you get wealthy, it's difficult to know who are your friends. It's difficult to know who's
Mm,
hanging out with me because of my wealth, whatever. So
yeah.
there's a lot of fear of losing it all and whatever. So, one thing I learned from, you know, I'm a big, I watch people and I watch Richard Branson, and he's always humble, always kind. He doesn't take advantage of people. He doesn't boss people around. We were on his island, and I've been to his island many times, and we were taking a boat ride to another island, and we were going to go biking, and there were maybe about 15 of us, and we all needed about two bottles of water, each large bottles of water, so we put them in two heavy bags, and he carried half of one. They were in a bag, so he carried one handle, someone else carried another handle. He didn't have to do that,
No.
and he did the same on the way back. It was a little bit lighter on the way back because there was less water, but he didn't have to do that. So when
Wow.
you observe great people performing acts of kindness, it means that if they can do it, we should absolutely do it. He could have got someone else to do it, but it's about being present. And one of the great things about Richard is he's a great listener. He will always let you speak. He will always listen, and he'll always be in a good mood. And the other thing is, he looks after his health. He spends 3 or 4 hours a day looking after his health. And he's just a beautiful man. Not because he's got money, just because he's just a beautiful man. His son is a beautiful man too. His daughter is a beautiful lady too. Beautiful souls. And, there are two types of people on the planet. This will change your audience's life. There are ones that make you happy when you enter a room, ones that make you happy when you leave a room. Which one are you? Are you giving energy or are you sucking energy? It's that simple.
Mm. Now, would you say that's like the recipe for life there? Think about those two analogies there. You come into a room, do you bring that happiness? Do you suck that happiness away? Oh my God. I know for a
Isn't
fact
it?
when I go in, I love to bring that happiness. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, and it's obvious because you have this energetic, beautiful vibrational frequency around you. And if there's one sentence that changed my life, and if the audience just listens to this one thing, be so amazing you cannot be ignored. And if you are ignored, it doesn't matter because you'll show up the best version of you.
Mm. Oh, that's deep. That's beautiful. And Dr. Gupta, I have to ask. I have to ask you something because you traveled over 80 countries. You've done a lot. But I feel like one of the things that I love about different countries is I love the culture, I love the food, and I feel like love is translated in so many different ways when you travel to different, areas around the world. I have to ask you, what have you learned about love after exploring these different countries, learning about these individuals? Is love different?
Well, love is basically the same, but it's a matter of spending time with people, being present to them. In Italy, a meal takes 2 hours. They don't rush you. The way they talk to their children is so beautiful with so much love. And, people talk about the Mediterranean diet, but that's only part of it. So I love the culture. I love the food. I will always go down the side streets. And if I have to point at a tray saying, I want that, I'll just do it. And, we have to get into their world, experience what they experience. Don't be a tourist everywhere. We can see all the sights, but, walk the streets and go down a side road, go into a local restaurant or a local cafe. Just sit and have coffee and be present. It's the small things that are the big things.
So, would you say that Italy was the one that imprinted on your heart the most when you visited, since you
Well,
mentioned it?
it's difficult to say, Italy, Croatia, um, uh, um, Costa Rica, Pura Vida. There's always something, but the most important thing is the people. If you meet great people, that's the most important thing. It's not the sights, it's not the monuments, it's not the sightseeing, it's the people that you meet, because you know they will always leave an impression on you. People will always remember how you made them feel.
Hmm. And Neil, and as we move on here to a closure, I mean, I love that you shared your story from rock bottom to honestly radical love. That's what it is. It speaks masterclass, grace, and courage. There's so much beauty behind that. But before we close here, I want to speak to that person right now that's listening. And then you shared so many great quotes, so many good things that we should ask ourselves. But what about somebody that's heartbroken, lonely, tired, or fighting some type of peace in their soul right now? What's that one message you just want to leave them with? If they could just take away one thing out of our beautiful conversation today.
Yeah. So look at the happiness formula: G times G times G, and ask yourself, out of those three G's, give, grow, gratitude, which is the lowest G, and just work on the lowest G, and everything will start to rise. You know, Performing an act of kindness will make you feel good. Now, I would ask everybody to look at their hands. When was the last time you thanked them? I've only got one good hand at the moment, and I can't open a bag of chips. I can just about put my toothpaste on the toothbrush. I can't lift anything. I can't even lift up my phone. But we take these things for granted: our eyes, our teeth, our skin. If you're 30 years old, 35 years old, your heart has beaten over 1 billion, 1,000 million times. Have we ever thanked it? So be
Yeah.
grateful for what you have, perform
Mm.
acts of kindness, and grow emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. And you'll be stunned how quickly things can change.
And that's beautiful. Look at the happiness formula and work on the lowest G's. That's big right there. And thank yourself. Thank for being here. I mean, always be grateful. I mean, even if it's you have legs, you could walk. That's something to be grateful for. Some people are not so fortunate. I want to thank you so much for your journey today and just sharing it with us, joining us, and for sharing your heart, your wisdom, your light. I feel like this conversation just helps us just reminded us like happiness isn't something we chase, it's something we choose or need to be choosing again and again every single day. That's something to definitely look into for sure. But before we close, I know our listeners are going to want to stay connected with you. So where can they find you, learn about more about this happiness formula, and of course, grab your book, The Immediate Happiness? Where can they follow you?
The best way is through my website, meetanil.com, and you'll find many resources. You'll find access to um, my Facebook, my Instagram, my um, LinkedIn, YouTube, and I'm sure you'll add it to your show notes. And just listen to some of my videos and take action. You have to take action. If you don't take action, you're going to get the same result. But if once you start taking action, you'll start to notice your life change. And that's what I did. In 2008, I started events, 5 people, 10, 20, 100, 200, 500, eventually 10,000 people. But the expert in anything was once a beginner. So you have to start. That's what I urge you to do. Start today.
And you heard that, listener. Start today. That's the biggest takeaway from today's conversation. Start today. Anil, I want to thank you so much for this incredible conversation. I really appreciate this. This has been just great. I love it.
No, thank you for bringing so much joy and energy and making such a difference. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you.
Oh, same here. I'm so grateful. To all my listeners, I just want to thank you all for tuning in and for showing up. And of course, being part of the Conversations with Iris family every Friday. I mean, remember, I'm streaming on all platforms, so there's no excuses, mi gente bonita. Make sure you're caught up and subscribe. Thank you all for your time, for your ears. All this is all vibes right now. Con mucho amor, this has been Conversations with Iris. Until next time, my beautiful people, stay in love. Take care, y'all.